For shooting video, this is my favorite rig. It is the Gorillapod rig, which I actually haven't seen anyone else use, but I like it the most. And I'll explain to you why this one is very convenient. What makes this my favorite video rig is how portable it is. I travel a lot. Most my shoots are run and gun style. I don't really arrive with a van of gear, and I need to be able to put this in my bag. The fact is, this is very foldable. It folds as much as a normal Gorillapod does. The arms come off, so it's very easy to carry around. And in comparison with your alternatives, which is a large tripod or gimbal, this is by far the easiest one to port. And the other thing is that it doubles as a tripod. Instead of this, I can use it as a Gorillapod and tie it around objects as well. So it's versatile, it's portable, it's actually quite low cost. The other thing is it has very few moving parts that you can lose or that you can break and that you have to struggle with during a busy day on the field. So the simpler it is, the smaller it is, the better in my book. And in fact, you get a lot of usage out of this thing because of all its versatile use cases. You have most of the slots that you need. Normally when you need a rig, you need it because you have to put more things that your camera itself supports. Now, a camera comes with a standard hot shoe on top, which we normally put a microphone on. However, when you shoot, you have additional needs, especially with video. And one big need is extra light. It is harder actually to compensate for light when you're shooting video because you're really limited when it comes to how long to open the shutter. And so we have here the Lume Cube on the right side, which actually provides quite a bit of extra light. And it has also grades of the light, how powerful it is. The camera itself I'm using is usually the X-H1 because it has IBIS. I can do this for a very long time. It is very stable when you have a combination of IBIS, the in-body image stabilization, and the optical stabilization. The combination of the two and resting it on my shoulder like this makes me able to produce stable footage for a very long time. Something like 30 minutes at once. I can probably power through that this way, but not if I'm holding it out without a rig on my shoulder.
Okay, my name is Steve Lyon. I work for the Washington State University Bread Lab. We've developed all of these varieties you see on the wall here. Some from Eastern Washington. This Skagit 1109 was the first one developed specifically for Western Washington, the first tweed ever developed west of the Cascade Mountains.
Pretend this is a fan, and you cut it so that all of them are the same. You see how beautiful that is? Eating is about aesthetic, and we need to make it beautiful.
The other thing that you normally need on a video shoot, it's very handy, is this monitor here. And there are also many monitors. What are monitors good for? Well, a lot of people use them for getting a higher quality signal out of the camera, which the camera normally doesn't support, because monitors come with their own processing power, and you can actually get some heavy lifting delegated to the monitor, and this way exceed the camera's capabilities. That's the standard usage. But another very important usage is that it simply magnifies what you're shooting, and in this case it's coming closer to my face, so I don't have to be bending my neck all day like this to be looking at the LCD, which normally the LCD would fall lower and I have to be hurting my neck all day during a video shoot. So when I raise it up towards my face like this, I'm able to much better see what I'm shooting. It's also very convenient for showing others what you're shooting, because out in the field, the LCDs are small and not very good experience. If somebody like a shoot director or a client or someone like that, an artistic direction type of person, is asking you what you're shooting. So a monitor comes handy in all those situations. Many people build much bigger rigs with many more things on them, but I find that to be overkill for like 95% of the situations we are in. So I do have a cage for this by Small Rig, but I tend to not use it very much because this Gorillapod rig gives me all the slots I need, as well as the tripod legs, which then become the 3 points of contact which you need to stabilize the camera. You can see I'm holding it with both hands. It's very natural, it's very comfortable, and it also rests against my body with the third leg. And when I do this, from here on, I keep my body still to a large degree. My arms are still almost 100%. All the motions that I need to do if I'm tracking a subject is now coming from my waist. This gives you by far the least amount of shake and by far the smoothest panning. Your arms being extended simply because of physics give you more shaky footage. When it's your body, it's a lot more stable because the motion is coming from the core. When you extend your arms out, they also are weaker than your whole body is. So they start getting tired much faster. So all we want to do, rest it on your shoulder, relax your body, and only move from the waist. Most shoes I actually just handle with my hands without even a rig, but if I know I'm going to be tracking a subject for a longer duration, especially if I care a lot for a client's video shoot or something like that, I will come with the rig. And if I'm tracking a subject, interviewing a subject, normally you can do that with a shotgun. Often we do that with a wireless microphone like I'm wearing, the Rode Wireless Go on me right now. And then your subject can be going all over the field, showing you things like we did one about grain production and so on. And he was going all over the mill, showing us things, and we could track him. And I can slowly walk with this as well. You know, I can move forward a bit without shaking all that much. You can see how this supports some walking. The IBIS and the OIS will make it not extremely shaky. You're in effect actually resting. The only thing that isn't resting in this case is my lower back is getting a lot of the weight in this case. And so over the course of a day, I will get some fatigue and pain in my lower back, but that's a long way from now. And the bonus is that when I don't need this to be supporting all these different extensions, I simply remove the arms, and at that point you get your standard 5K Gorillapod, which I use all the time anyway, so you get two-in-one in a way. And here's what happens when you remove the arms from the Gorillapod rig. You're left with effectively a 5K normal Gorillapod with a ball head on. All this is part of the kit when you buy it. It comes together. But at this point, this is very lightweight. I shoot like this the majority of the time, because the majority of the time I actually do not need all the rest of the stuff. If it's starting to get dark, then I'll have the need for the light. But until then, I don't. And if I'm shooting for myself, I don't need a monitor very much either. One thing that helps a lot is to pop the LCD so that you have a better angle to monitor things like what you're shooting. And honestly, because mostly you stay static, you glance at it, you don't keep your neck bent all the time. So there we go. I have a microphone here. It can be either wired or wireless. And like this, I can go for a whole day because it's very lightweight. I don't need to bother. And now I actually have a tripod. And that is also very nice because it takes me this long to straighten this out. And now if I need to plant this anywhere, there we go, I can do that. And so I have two-in-one. If I had a normal cage, that doesn't work as a tripod. And especially not as a Gorillapod that can be mounted on all kinds of strange objects like rails and trees and things that you may need if you're out doing some action. I don't know if you have tried a shoulder rig. I think what Joby has done is brilliant. Basically have their tripod double as a rig. And even before they released the additional arms, I used the normal Gorillapod to shoot like this. I just figured out that with the legs, I can easily have the 3 points of contact, which it takes you to stabilize while resting your arms. And this is in its stripped down version. This is all you need. And you're shooting like this.